Hey, how are you? I wanted to make this video. It's the most recent question that I've gotten in regards to how to spend money in growing an agency. And it was specifically about how to spend $100,000 in an agency. Before I dive into it, I want to let you know that tomorrow, October 13th at 6:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, I will be going live on YouTube for 30 minutes. And I'm going to answer any questions for free. For any agents out there who are looking to get an agency started from scratch, take advantage of it, guys. I'm going to give away 30 minutes just to answer your guys' questions and hopefully bring as much value as I possibly can, like I do in some of these videos, but I want to do it live so that, if anybody has a question, I'm going to answer for free. So the question is, how do you spend $100,000 in an agency, to build up an agency and efficiently and effectively? Before I dive into it, I want to give you guys just some points. You will constantly hear this from other people, and you've probably already heard this, but insurance is a numbers game. It's a big numbers game, and it's true. I'm not going to deny it. It is a numbers game. The more shots you take, the more opportunities for shots to go in, deals to close, more quotes, more relationships, more people know about you. They'll tell their friends, blah, 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 blah. More shots you take, the more opportunities you have to make more money and to make more, close more deals. Kobe Bryant actually missed the most shots in NBA history, and there's a reason for it, because he took the most shots, he made the most shots. I don't know if he made the most shots, but he's, highly successful because he took a lot of shots. If you're watching this, I'm sure that you probably want to succeed. You're not just here to participate in the insurance industry, you want to dominate. And if you're not, you should reevaluate kind of what your intentions are, because it's a very, very competitive industry. And if you're not here to dominate and close every possible deal you possibly can and make as much revenue and help as many people and help your family, you should reconsider it. And obviously doing that ethically and doing it the right way and helping people so that they can get what they need. And meanwhile, the larger amount of service that you provide, the more reward that you will get. So the more people you help, the more revenues and benefit you will receive. Your agency, your people, your team will make more money, and so on and so forth. So not here to discourage anybody. My goal, is to keep expectations realistic and, help you expedite that process. In the first 3 years, I'm only in my, approaching my third year. My first 6 months were terrible. I didn't really know what I was doing. I had some guidance and some references that were very, very helpful, but at the end of the day, I made a ton of mistakes, was super, super slow for the first 3 months, and didn't get barely any policies on the board. And if I would have listened to something like this, I probably would have really, really, expedited that process. And my goal is to help you do that as efficiently and as effectively as you possibly can. So I'll dive straight into it, what it is that will make you, and what made me reach the level where I'm at, where we're approaching $1 million in premium sold in just a little over 2 years. So I think for starting from scratch, I don't think that's amazing. It's pretty good, but it's not amazing and it's not terrible. Or pretty well off for the first 2 years, and a team of 3 now, starting with about $5,000 or $10,000 invested into the agency, approaching $1 million in premium, which is a real cool goal for me. And I will pop a bottle of champagne that day, and I'll probably post a video of it too, so that you guys can see, and because I want to document this journey so that you guys can understand kind of what it takes and what it took for me. And it is a ton of hard work. It's a ton of hard work, I'm not going to lie. So the simple answer to getting to this level of success and getting that many deals and getting, that kind of premium on the board early on, in my belief, and I firmly believe this, it's awareness. If people don't know who you are, they'll never be able to buy from you. How will I ever buy from you, Mike, in Alabama? And there's no Mike in Alabama, I'm just making this up, but Mike in Alabama, how will I ever buy from you if I've never seen a video of you, if I've never seen an ad of you, on a shopping cart, if I've never gotten a text from you, a phone call, an email, I've never seen you at a swap meet, trade show, or I've never gotten a shopping bag with your name on it, or if I haven't gotten a postcard in the mail or something. So awareness is the answer. That more people know about you, the more they're going to gravitate towards you, the more there's opportunities that are going to come to you, and the more deals you're going to close, the more premium is going to get on the books, and it's just going to snowball. You're going to get to a point in the agency around 3, 4, 5 years, depending on how big it is. And it hasn't even, I don't even think it's happened yet for me. It's starting to happen, but it gets to the point where your book essentially explodes within itself because it's already gained so many clients. They start to tell their friends, and then it really kind of turns into, obviously you want to continue marketing, but it starts turning into its own marketing monster, and just starts bringing in organic, leads and deals coming into your agency. And like I said, I don't even think I'm there yet, but directly want to talk specifically about how to spend $100,000 and how I would allocate it. Like I said, I didn't have $100,000 to start. I started with about $5,000 or $10,000, which was really just to get myself an office, get myself set up with an alliance. I had to pay for a bunch of other insurances and the licensing and phone system, website, the email. There's a bunch of little small costs here and there, but it adds up. So I spent probably somewhere between $5,000 and $10,000 early on, just kind of getting the whole thing established. But I'll talk specifically about how I, if I really was starting from scratch today, how I would do, $100,000. And obviously now I have the experience, so maybe it's a little bit tricky because you have to kind of go through a lot of these losses and these failures to understand the whole dynamic of everything. But just to let you know, this is what I would do, and take whatever you want from this and use it any way you possibly can. If you have, 10,000, 20, 30. So first and foremost, you have to decide whether you're going to be purchasing a book of business or you're going to go in from scratch and just use your $100,000 to start from scratch. You can actually buy a book of business and just start servicing that book immediately. You want to be really, really careful with when you buy the book of business, whether you have appointments with those companies now, because then you're just going to buy a book of business that you can't even service because you're not appointed with those companies. It could get negotiated with the company before you buy the book. So that's something to look into if you're trying to avoid going with an alliance, or you want to kind of buy the book first and have something. It's something to negotiate with a carrier. So analyze the book, make sure that it has the carriers that you want. The next thing you got to keep in mind is office rent. What kind of office are you going to get? Phones, management systems, cluster alliance membership fees. How many employees are you going to be paid? Commission and hourly. Those are all questions. So let's just use the example of 3 sales producers and 1 customer service representative. So typically, this is just a baseline. A lot of times agents will say this across the insurance industry. For every $500,000 in premium, you want to have 1 customer service representative. I like to scale that down. I like to think like 300,000 to 400,000 because I think you're spreading yourself a little too thin with 500,000. There's a lot of service to be done. For a full-time service rep, I think they could probably handle it if they're really good and they know what they're doing. But lots of times people come in with no experience. You have to train them, and you want to make sure that your clients are receiving the best service possible, because they're just going to leave you. They're going to go with another agent that they haven't heard from you for a couple months. They're going to go somewhere else. So I would be prepared for around $20,000 to $30,000 allocated on your customer service rep. For 1 year. So that's 20 to 30. That's a big chunk of your money already just to service your book. Next, if you want to do full commissions, I would set up with your sales producers. Let's say you bring on 1 sales producer to help you sell, and you put them on, base hourly and then commission. I would be prepared to set, aside maybe $10,000 to $20,000, or I'm sorry, between $10,000 and $20,000 per year. And then what I would do on top of that is monthly sales bonuses to keep the incentives there. $1,000 for the best sales producer if you do hire 3, $5,000 for the bonus for the year, whoever is the highest producing sales rep if you do 3. So you got to be prepared for somewhere between another $12,000 and $20,000 for your producers. That's if you put them on commission and base salary, like minimum. If you're going to pay them hourly, like $15 to $20 an hour, I'd be prepared to, another 40, 50,000. There's a lot more money there. And that really depends on your structure, how you want to go. Commission, you want to go hourly. I like to go hourly, low hourly wage with, higher commission incentives with bonuses on the month and the year if they hit their, certain, levels of premium sold. And then lastly, what I would really, really focus on is networking with the money, the remaining money, which is probably, let's just call it 30, 40,000. It's really tough to say at the end of the day. I would say with your last, let's just call it $30,000, I would highly focus on networking with realtors, loan officers, captive agents, going to, number 2, trade shows, buying internet leads, mass texting, mass emailing, different types of outbound, networking ways you can stir up some business. It's a scrappy way to go, and purchasing leads is tough because they're not always qualified. But then, at the end of the day, that's the best way you're going to give yourself the most shots. The next thing I would highly consider is spending a couple $1,000s in Google Ads, maybe $1,000 in Google Ads, and then $1,000 in Facebook ads. That's a good way to go because, Facebook is a different audience. They're not really there for purchasing insurance, but they're there they see you and the branding is there. So that's a great way to brand, but Google is a very good way to actually get inbound calls. People go to Google to buy insurance. So another thing you can consider, door hangers, mailers, and that's a great way to get, local awareness of who you are. So those are my main ways that I would spend my first $100,000 invested into the agency. The flip side of it, if you're starting from scratch, you really got to buckle down year one by yourself probably. If you can, get somebody to be your assistant and help you with some service stuff early on for very, very low wages if you have some money and capital to start up with. But really you want to try to get to $250, $500 in premium in the first year or two. Early on, try to get to $500,000 in premium. That way you have some solid commissions rolling in, and then you can delegate some work. Luckily for me, I started with support of my family. I didn't necessarily have a lot of overhead or people that were financially dependent on me. Didn't have a wife, still don't have a wife, don't have any kids. Seriously, it's just me, guys. This is why I'm in a position. I have a girlfriend, but it's not the same as the wife, as many of you may know. It's not the same as the kids, the diapers. It's expensive stuff. So I'm in a position where I don't have a lot of overhead and expenses outside of the business. So I reallocated that towards employees and towards investing in ads and buying more things that will help the agency grow. Versus stuff that had to be pulled out of the business and spent on personal stuff. I was lucky enough for that. I'm not sure what your situation might be if you're older and you do have kids and you have a wife or a mother or somebody that depends on you. Then what I would suggest is kicking in another year of just really keeping your head down and grinding and getting another year of premium on the books so that renewals just keep coming in. Build that book up as much as you possibly can by yourself. Keep the expenses lean, lower your expenses as much as possible. Have a great team member and just build it up, and then draw from it what you have to, but as much as you possibly can, reinvest into the agency early on, because the more you invest early on, it's exponential. It's something that's exponential. So if you're already at $1 million in book, and your book of business is at $1 million year one, year two, you're golden. That thing is going to really just start to explode because it, like I said before, it's a snowball. So my suggestion is really kind of eat the dirt for the first couple years. And I believe that is the best way to build a massive business with, high levels of success and high revenues and a big team, and depending on what your ambition is. If it's just to be you, an assistant, and one other employee for the next 5-10 years, then you don't have to worry about it too much. You could be in there yourself for the first 2 years. Year 2 or 3, you could hire somebody on to help with the service. Year 4, 5, hire somebody else on, and then for the next 5 years, you're just cruising and you're just building on. And personally, my ambition is to really take it to a large team, 20, 30, 40 plus maybe. We'll see how big we can get it, but I want to get the numbers really, really big, and that's just my desire. I just feel like I want to do that for whatever reason. But like I said, guys, networking with realtors, loan officers, captive agents, go to trade shows in person. Obviously, coronavirus makes it difficult to do that. Buying internet leads, Quote Wizard or ZipQuote or these different types of quoting online lead places. I'm not tied to them at all, so I'm just putting their names out there. Purchasing home and auto live transfers, those are great. Mass texting, you have to be very, very careful with this. There's compliance issues with how much you can text out without people opting in, so you got to find ways around that. Mass emailing or referrals, like I said, networking and getting, building up your email base to blast out. And then I would highly consider going and buying some Google ads. Find somebody really good who can do the Google ads for you, and find someone really good who can do Facebook ads for you. Because if you just try to do them on yourself and you just try to go press boost post, guys, boosting post is the biggest waste of money you can ever make. Facebook will not show it to the people you want to see. You want to target your ads specifically. So now I'm just rambling about marketing, and I'll go into that another day. But don't do that. Make sure you find someone who knows what they're doing. Pay them a couple $100 a month. So run your ads, because it's going to be way more worth it. You're just burning your dollars when you're not doing that. So door-to-door hangers, door hangers or mailers, also a great way to build awareness. And just work your ass off. Make sure to show up every day like it's the first day of the agency. I think that's the way to go, for at least first 5 years. Be ready for it. And any other questions? Like I said, tomorrow we'll be on that live stream from October 13th, 2020 at 6:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I'm going to answer any live questions people have for me and hopefully bring some more value. Trying to put together a little course that I can help give away to people as well. So that'll be coming soon, and hopefully help you expedite your processes here. And anything else I can do, let me know. Ask any questions in the comments below, because I'm going to answer your questions in a video form. And basically, you're getting free consultation here, people. So click below, subscribe please, and give me a comment below and let me know what question you have. I'll make a video for it and I'll answer your question. That is it for today. I will see you guys soon. Good luck out there, and hopefully see you all at the top very, very soon. Thanks.